The optimum action length for 7mm PRC rifles is medium action, and that's what we're going to build in this video. Hey guys, Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. This rifle build will be what I consider the ultimate 7PRC. Normally you need a long action for 7PRC, but it turns out you can fit that in a medium action. Medium action splits the difference in action screw, hole spacing, and action overall length between a short action and a long action. So this is going to be a really fun build. Let me go over the components that we're going to use for the build. So we've got the BAT Vesper M. This is the medium action Vesper. Turns out we just went to BAT Machine and we just did a complete video with Bruce Tom, the owner, about Vesper. And so you're going to want to watch that. This is going to be the perfect action for a 7PRC build. It's medium action, and we've got a Magnum bolt face. We've got Foundation Ezekiel. This is a very high-tech, very optimized stock. It's medium action, of course, because it's going into this build. Ezekiel has an adjustable cheek riser. We've also done stories with the Foundation's Gideon stock, which does not have the adjustable cheek riser. A lot of similarities between the two, including the construction, which is including carbon fiber, Kevlar, close-cell foam, and micarta. We've got micarta here on the inletting surface. This is basically Foundation taking all of the learnings that they've put together for making world-class PRS tile stocks with solid micarta and expanding that into the lightweight hunting line. We've got a super nice full-length Arca rail here that's skeletonized for weight savings. This means we're going to be able to use this with a tripod or with a bipod, and I hunt with both. So that's pretty awesome. It's got this really nice textured, grippy surface on the stock. It's the ultimate hunting stock in my opinion. And then from Hawkins Precision, we've got their Hunter DBM, the detachable box magazine, bottom metal, and this includes the trigger guard mag release, and so you won't have that snagging on things. It won't be released inadvertently. It works with their Hunter mag. So this is a Magnum medium action Hunter mag. This is going to go not exactly flush, but just where you have enough to grab the bottom of the magazine. It's a very, very low profile design, still high in terms of usability, very compact. I believe in this configuration, this is going to hold 3 rounds, and the real beauty of it is, if we take the Hunter mag out, we can use any standard AICS magazine. Now that's going to be for medium action in this case. So I would have to research exactly what that's going to be. One of the nice things about Vesper is the way the mag cut is on this action, it's going to optimize for cartridge overall length. And that's one of the ways that we can get a 7PRC crammed down into a medium action. We've also got from Carbon 6 a 7mm 22-inch finished barrel blank in 1 1/8 twist, 284. So it's a 7mm barrel blank. That's going to optimize our weight and stiffness. 22 inches should be perfect for use with a suppressor. And then when we get to loading, I was just at Peterson Cartridge at their headquarters. We did a really awesome story showing how brass is made. While we were there, we picked up some 7PRC brass to use for this build. So this build is going to be absolutely amazing. I've got a couple other things to figure out here, trigger, scope, that sort of thing. We'll get to that later in the video. So I'm going to go do a little bit of research. I'm going to make my build sheet, go to my new 1440 GT-VS, and get to work. Well, here it is. The rifle is complete, and let me just say, I absolutely love this combination. This is about the most dialed in 7PRC hunting rifle you're gonna see. Here's how we're gonna break this down. I'll talk about the barrel work, I'll talk about the assembly, the optic, and we did some shooting, which turned out phenomenal as well. So, barrel work. We've got our carbon 6, 7mm, 1/8, 22-inch finished blank. And for the lathe, this time I chose to use our new PM1440 GT VS from Precision Matthews. This is like the PM1440 GT I've shown on the channel in the past, but it's fully optimized for variable speed, and it's just one of my favorites. I put a lift kit on the lathe. It's right up where I need it in my workspace. I don't have to hunch down, and it's just absolutely smooth as glass. It's just a real delight to operate. You might be wondering what this is. This is a little sneak peek. We're going to be making an announcement in the next week about our new digital rifle gunsmithing platform, community, and training resources. It's called Rifle Builder Pro. I've been using the math from this for the last year and a half, and now I've taken that and I've wrapped it in a mock-up, which you see here. We're going to be beginning development on the actual app infrastructure and community here shortly in early 2026. We don't have additional dates beyond that, and there's a full video, which you'll see in a few days here, that's going to describe the entire concept in more detail. I used it for the rifle barrel chambering, and it was absolutely amazing to take what I've been using and advance it to the next level with a mock-up user experience around it. Okay, so very straightforward, very pleasant job. Everything went just absolutely perfectly with this barrel chambering. I got it indicated in the lathe. We did the pre-drill. I got in there with the 10th indicator and got the throat area running perfectly true. After that, I trued up the pre-drill, right? Because when that reamer goes in, we want it to hit a surface that is completely dead still while it's rotating. It's not got any wobble in it. So then went ahead and finished that indicating down to 1/10,000th of an inch. I reamed off the lands area where the neck area of the chamber will be so that we can minimize reamer deflections. This is all part of our kind of standard process. And then went and turned the tenon and threaded it and got ready for the actual chambering process. It's a very straightforward tenon profile. It's just a straight threaded section. There's no counterbore to worry about here. And this is the first time that I had chambered a rifle barrel on this machine. I had set up my tailstock digital readout. I had put together a rigid reamer holder. Here we're using a PTG finisher reamer. I have the finisher and the rougher. I got it as a part of the set for the Hornady launch for the cartridge. I don't use the rougher because we don't need it for our process. We've also got the PTG go and no-go gauges for checks while we're chambering and also checks after assembly. So very smooth chambering process, zero run out. I love to see that. When I take my 10th indicator, I put it inside the chamber, I spin the barrel, and I see basically no movement. Occasionally just the slightest jitter due to some surface roughness as a part of that process. So super duper results. Checked headspace on the lathe. I had cut it to depth using a ring and depth micrometer. Everything spec'd out perfectly. And this is the great thing about BAT actions. This is the BAT Vesper Medium Action. When you read the specifications from the tenon print, you can cut the chamber to those dimensions and know that it will headspace. Not every action manufacturer can make that claim. BAT machine can. They hold ultra tight tolerances. So I took the barrel out of the lathe, spun it around, and did our standard 5/8 24 muzzle threading job with a flat recessed crown and a slight step for engagement of the brake or the suppressor prior to threading it on. So we have a thread relief on one side, and we have a very short unthreaded section where you put your muzzle device on. And I've found that that makes the muzzle device go on a lot easier and can also prevent cross threading. So I took the barrel out of the lathe, and next was assembly. So the first step was to tighten the receiver down on the barrel. I put the barrel in the barrel vise, got it clocked correctly, torqued it down with an internal action wrench from BAT machine to 75 foot-pounds, which is our standard operating procedure, and then proceeded to cycle the go and the no-go gauges. Go was a go, no-go was not a go. Exactly what we want to see. So that is always a good feeling and an important final check when we're putting the rifle together. I put the barrel to action in our laser engraver and engraved the barrel details, the Ultimate Reloader logo, 7mm PRC, 1 8 twist, and I also like to put the barrel length on there, 22 inches, because that's good info to have if we're reloading or if we're looking at our ballistics data, and it just might as well put that right on the barrel there. Everything's looking really great at this point, but things get even better when I place the barrel to action in the Foundation Ezekiel stock, and it fits like an absolute glove. I don't know of anyone that does better inletting work on their stocks than Foundation, and I don't feel the need to bed, and that says quite a lot because we have really, really high standards. The Hawkins Precision Medium Action Hunter DBM slid in with some resistance, and if you just pull on it, it won't come out. You kind of have to rock it slightly to get it out. It absolutely perfect inletting job on the top and the bottom for the Ezekiel stock. And I'm really excited about this Hunter DBM because you can grab the mag. It does not protrude down. It's lightweight. It gives you the convenience of having a loaded mag in the truck if you can slam and go, you know, or if you're in the field and want to slam and go. It's just much, much more convenient than an internal magazine. That's just my personal preference. And there's little weight penalty here when we're using the Hunter DBM and the Hunter mag from Hawkins. It's ultra lightweight CNC machined aluminum. So kind of the best setup going in my opinion. Okay, so the rifle is together. Before I put the scope on, I put it on the scale. And what I found was this rifle with no muzzle device, with mag and no optic, comes in at 7.55 pounds. And that to me is absolute perfection for a Magnum that's lightweight. This is what I call a lightweight Magnum. I don't want a 6-pound lightweight Magnum. That's not for me. I want a rifle that I can shoot confidently, and I know I'm gonna hit what I'm gonna shoot, and I know I can actually see the animal fall through the scope. This is actually a little bit on the light side for that, but after shooting it, I can tell you it's about where I want it to be. It's just about absolute perfection in the weight to power ratio there. The other thing was I installed in the barrel to action before I put it in the stock, the TriggerTech Remington 700 Diamond 2-stage. This is the exact same trigger that I used in South Africa when I was hunting with Peter Milan. This was the most amazing hunting experience ever. 5 shots, 5 kills out to, I think it was 680 yards with the Kudu, and quite a few off the tripod. And every time I pulled the trigger, I knew exactly when the rifle was going to fire. I saw the bullet hit the animal. I saw the animal fall. That's exactly what we want here. I'm not running a brake on this particular suppressor here. This is the Maverick from Area 419, but that would be kind of a nice thing to do with a lightweight Magnum like this. That would be kind of the finishing touch in my opinion. I also have the Hellfire Titanium brake, which would be another great way to roll here. That would get the overall length down a little bit. Suppressor, honestly, was why I chose the 22-inch finished length for the barrel. Okay, so at this point, it's time to think about an optic. And this, for me, is kind of my go-to hunting optic. This is the Mark IV HD from Leupold. It's a little much for some of you. I know most people are a little bit more minimalist with their scopes for hunting, but when I get used to a tactical scope, that's what I want, regardless of whether I'm hunting or doing target shooting. This is the Mark IV HD 6-24 by 52. One of the reasons I like it is it's got the locking windage. So I can push this button here, it stays in, and then when we go back to 0, it pops out. So I know if I'm bumping my turret here in the woods, it's not gonna go off. Same thing here for elevation. We can dial up, dial back down. We hear it pop back out. It's just absolutely a great user interface. You can have a very tactile feel of what's going on. Ultra clear optics, just a really great package. So at this point, the rifle is together and we're ready to break it in. So for the break-in, I did what I always do. I take it up to our mid-mountain range, which we call L1, the first landing number 1 on the mountain, and got it set up on the bench rest. And that's where this full-length Arca rail comes in handy. We have a nice bag rider, got it set up in the bench rest, looked through the bore, did a quick bore sight on it, and got on paper, I think, on the 3rd shot, something like that. And proceeded to get the 0 set, pretty accurately. And then I fired off a quick 3-round group. I have that group here. Really good results. So it looks like we are at 0.520 inches for 3 shots at 100 yards, which is 0.497, just barely sub half MOA. Why 3 shots? It's a lightweight Magnum. It's got a carbon barrel. This is kind of my standard baseline test. Now, when I go on to load development with this rifle, I think I'll expand that out to 5 shots, and we'll take a look at different bullets and different loads. Here, I was shooting Peterson brand new brass. I just did the factory tour. You're gonna wanna see our how it's made rifle brass video. One of the things that I learned there was all about their easy seat coating. And I specifically took note of seating primers, which seated smoothly, but also seating bullets with virgin brass with no mandrelling and no rings on the bullets. You take a close look at that, you can see where the seater plug hit, but there's no ring on there. It didn't actually indent at all. And very, very smooth seating. So just the right dimensions for the neck. And the easy seat coating really helps, especially for that first firing when you've got bare brass. Once you've got carbon in your necks, that acts as lubrication on its own, so it's a little bit less critical for subsequent loads. So at this point, I'm thinking, wow, if I've got sub half MOA going on here at 100 yards, I've got my 0 set, I adjusted the windage a little bit after that group. Let's take it out to even further distances. That's it. So we went up to the ridge line where we shoot at Ultimate Reloader. This is sort of at the edge of our property, and we can shoot out at targets out to varying distances. Now, it wasn't super easy getting to the top. We actually had to take 2 trees off the road that had come down in a winter storm. So that added a little bit of fun, but we got up there. It was sunny, really nice day to shoot. First thing that we did was shoot rock chuck targets at 335 yards. Here's a little bit of that. Okay, the target is off the hanger. I would say that enemy is neutralized. Oh, that is a good feeling. So with that, I thought, hey, let's go out to 706, right? That's about as far as I would take a big game animal. So I got set up. I calculated my dope based on the velocity that I had measured at 100 yards, and this is what happened.
A little bit to the right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought I was going to have to hold right edge. I'm going to hold a little bit left
You're
edge.
right at the edge there.
Okay. That's it. Two clicks up. Oh, that's good. So I absolutely love this rifle, and this is probably now my go-to. I have a few go-tos now. We've got this one, we've got the 7SS, we've got the 6.5SS. It's gonna be really hard to pick next time I go big game hunting. Absolutely love it. So one more thought you might be thinking is, well, what exactly is medium action? You've probably figured out it's between short action and long action. Well, Remington defined what short action dimensions are and what long action dimensions are really with the Remington 700. It has to do with the distance from the recoil lug to the first action screw and then the spacing between the 2 action screws. It has to do with the length of the magazine that it can accommodate that particular action, the ejection port, the maximum cartridge overall length that the action can actually feed. And what you'll find is people are really pushing the limits for certain cartridges, like 6.5 PRC is an example. It's much longer than the 2.80 inches that you get with a 308 Winchester. And short actions can be made to feed cartridges like 6.5 PRC, sometimes by notching the feed ramp, the lower portion of the receiver. Other times, like BAT does a really good job accommodating like a 6.5 PRC with their short actions like the Vesper short. Medium action lengthens things enough to accommodate a cartridge like 7 PRC, but not longer cartridges than that, really. This might not be the absolute limit. And so for a more complete definition of what is medium action, we've actually got a completely dedicated story planned for that. We're going to talk about those Remington 700 distances and specifications, capacities for short action and long action, and then throw in medium action, which is really a different industry effort and an exercise in aligning on common specifications. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications to check out that video. With this project, we coordinated with Hawkins Precision, with Foundation, and with BAT to make sure that all this medium action stuff was going to work great. And let me tell you, it absolutely does. No problem fitting our loaded rounds. The feeding was great. It's just an all-around really great optimized experience. And when I was shooting specifically on the ridge line, when I was racking the shots, I didn't think, wow, this is a long action. I'm used to short actions. Whenever I shoot a long action, it's like, whoa, that's really long. I didn't feel that. I didn't even notice it. So I guess that's a good testament to that sort of enhanced experience that you're going to get. The rifle is going to be slightly more compact. This rifle is going to be a little bit shorter and lighter. Presumably, I think the optimized bolt throw is the biggest reason that I would go down the medium action route like we did for this project. So what I'd like is your input on this build. What did you think of the Ezekiel stock, the carbon 6 barrel, the BAT Vesper Medium Action, the Hawkins Precision Hunter DBM and Hunter Mag, the Leupold Mark IV HD, the Maverick? I would love to hear just what you think. And are you shooting something similar? Tell us about that build. We'll see you in the comments section. One final note, if you click through to the article, we'll have more information about Rifle Builder Pro, and look for that video shortly as well. Thank you very much for watching. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.